Hey, what's up, guys? Ash here. I don't normally do back-to-back videos on the same character. I just recently did Giselle's Hunter kind of trapper build. Very excellent video. If you guys haven't checked that out, it's really good. Hunter's in a great spot right now because the Monster Hunter set was literally built for Hunter. Hard to go wrong with that. But I leveled Giselle or went through the story and campaign with Giselle as sniper originally, and so it's kind of near and dear to my heart. Um, I do consider that sniper is the advanced class of the two, and we're going to find out why right now. So let's start off with what I kind of considered as like standard sniper. So we're on 50 violent here. This pack has not been alerted to Giselle's presence, and we're going to go ahead and take out the sniper. This, of course, is going to cause confusion with shadow sniping and just, create total chaos. And this is actually very similar to how Hunter works as well with traps. Very centered around adding confusion to the fight. But in general, I think most people think of Sniper as very much kind of like Scion and Black Mage, kind of a heavy damage class, a little bit of fire support like Hazing. And it's really so much more than that. So right here, we are going to chain fire, and then we're going to take a regular shot, and she'll have wiped out the entire group. And that's not bad per se, but this is what Sniper was meant to do. So in that exact same scenario, we're again going to shoot out the Sniper, and that's because he has the highest vision of this entire pack. And the whole idea behind Sniper is really see without being seen. So we're going to go ahead and off this guy just the same as we would before, but that's going to play out much differently on this second turn. So, confusion's going to go off. It's still going to, have total chaos, right? And there's going to be a lot more enemies that are kind of wounded. And so here's where Sniper really differs. If you press V into combat preview mode, you're going to start seeing, a lot about the enemy, but more importantly, you see this white line. That's their vision. So on this first one, he can't see Giselle. On the second one, you see right here, he can. Um, and then on the gangster, he can't. And then on the mercenary assassin, who also has very good vision, they can't. But because he can, we're actually going to move over to the side here where he can't actually see. And so what we're going to do now is instead of, opening with that confusion, we're going to continue that confusion. So now they're going back to fighting, and check this out, because of her class mastery, she's getting 2 AP back. So she can again move and fire. And so what this does is all units are confused, right? Additionally, actually triggering her sniping class mastery, you don't need one shot, one kill. So even these guys who are at 20% or 30% health, if we kill them, it's still going to refund all of her AP. So again, we're checking vision on the farthest unit. That's usually most important, but in this particular case, the rogue has the most vision. Still, both of them cannot see Giselle from where she's at. Check the gangster, not even close. And so we're going to go ahead and do a decisive shot, kill the 2. And you'll know that you got your sniping off because confusion will trigger nearby. And you'll get 2 AP back. So this guy is just totally freaking out. And notice, so you still have 2 AP. If we wanted to, we're going to check his vision again. And if you wanted to, you could move farther up at this point and kill him out of vision at this spot and then continue on with 2 AP. I had a little bit different plan in mind. I think I'd go for a Thod since he spawned in the sniper tower up here. Yeah. But you can see the difference between the two in that chain killing is insanity for Giselle. So let's go ahead and test this out. I wanted to show you guys in kind of a different venue here. So for sure, Giselle's Sniper Class excels on open area maps. So we're here on 39 Violent, which I consider is pretty darn open area. And of course, we're still checking vision. And as always, when you're killing, always aim at the targets with the highest vision. And this is where that kind of like advanced class portion comes in. You're checking their vision range. You need to know, kind of what their vision is like before the fight. But the short version is any sniper needs to go first. They will generally have very high vision range, especially on 50 Violent, where they have Owl Eye, and Owl Eye will give them, I don't know, like 18 nighttime range or so. Um, Yeah, so you can see we're just plowing through here, and overcharge is very important for Giselle. It's one of the few characters where I would not recommend that you burn her special cooldown without real good reason, or use her actual overcharge abilities. And that's just because of Vigor. Like, she really burns through Vigor very fast. Um, but you guys could see that, if you wanted to, and I sometimes I prefer just a one shot, one kill, and not do the run around, right? Because it still creates the same thing. But you always want to kind of plan a few steps ahead. So we're coming up on just the incinerator boss being alive here, and I know this guy's freaking out. I know he can't see me. This is gonna give us a 2 AP. We're going to go ahead and chain fire here. And again, still running on overcharge, so none of this is costing Vigor at the moment. Normally a snipe is 20 alone, and if you counted how many snipes that she did, she went through a lot. Also, interesting to note, if you guys saw, I just did snipe twice there. And that's actually from Sniper and Shadow, which is if you don't kill a target, it's going to refund all piercing attacks by 1. So actually, after the guy that was confused died, you'll see down here, Decisive Shot is still on a 1-turn cooldown. And if I snipe, normally both Decisive Shot and Snipe would both be on a 1-turn cooldown. But if a target does not die and they can't see you, it's going to refund that right there. So not only did it refund Snipe, but I could also use Decisive Shot as well here. So let's take a quick look at Giselle's abilities, because not every map is going to be like 39 Violent, where you have, those cars that are kind of, all that distance for Giselle to plan attacking and not whatnot. We're on 47 Violent here, and 47 Violent is very much a kind of close quarters combat kind of area, and this is where you kind of need one shot, one kill. This build technically doesn't need one shot, one kill if you were to just keep activating sniping, but on some maps like this, it's just not going to happen. So I highly recommend that you incorporate one shot, one kill into your build, and if you kind of mess up your vision, that'll work as well. But right here, we have Big Red in our face. Giselle's just going to completely knock him down. One shot, one kill is going to trigger, and we've got the Monarch, and this is where her primary ability, as far as I'm concerned, is chain fire on Sniper, and you will have to get used to this for sure. And it teams very well, of course, with Decisive Shot and just regular Snipe. But this is taking Monarch from full to 0, and that's really not too bad. On top of that, of course, Giselle has her flare. Right now, of course, the big thing is dealing with crabs, and you definitely need flare for position expose and getting them out of hiding, of course. But I would say, kind of normally you would use this, especially on Sniper, as I feel like it's more troubleshooter or troublemaker based. You'd use it more on assassins, rogues, thieves that have Darkness Hunter, and you can completely remove that from them. And then, of course, when you're walking around and you're looking at turns for Giselle, Decisive Shot is just amazing, and you want to look for these nice clean lines, right? Anytime you see a line, that's just cookie for the pudding. So this is a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned, and Wei's in here. He's got Impulse Field, so chain fired along with Decisive Shot, and he never even got a turn. And that's exactly what you want to be looking for. But going back to the core right here, so we're on 52 Violent, and remember, what matters for Sniper is vision versus range. And so Giselle's Snipe has a base 14 range, and Crabs have a base 14 sight. So that does not work out so well. Now, of course, you could put on gun barrel reinforcement. That's going to give you that extra 1 range and put her at 15. But that means you'd have to perfectly line up their 14 range with your 15 range, with a very small level of error. I don't really find that's worth it. And that's, again, where one shot, one kill comes in. Like, yeah, I could play the sniper game and run around and all that stuff, but why bother? When one shot, one kill is gonna just mow down. So use it as you see fit. They both have their own very specific requirement, but don't be afraid to just unload and take down everything like she normally would. Of course, Sniper will have access to pets, although it'll be a lot more limited than what Hunter would have. Right here we have Tiamat, which is my Frost Dragon. He's one of my original pets, and he just makes things easy for Giselle. He freezes them, and then anybody can come up and kill him. He has a ton of life, ton of armor, and it's just very easy and very simple to deal with. Um, there's lots of great pets that you can use. What immediately comes to mind for tanking pets, of course, is the Glacier Tima. He's very good. He takes almost no damage. But you could also use like Explorer Dorori. If you ever have a chance, you can look up Nostro's build for Murder Rory inside our Discord build channel, and that's very interesting to play with. And I might do a video on that in the near future. But Tiamat is very strong, and being able to freeze all this stuff is awesome. He has a way to charge and kind of be the center of attention to force them to fight him, which is pretty darn cool. And I really get a lot of use out of him. You can also make him kind of pretty offensive too. Anything that's frozen, he can kill a frozen Soul Reaper and basically get another turn. But pets don't disappear when you're on Sniper, but they will take a backseat as compared to on Hunter. All right, guys, let's go over precision sniping because this is obviously a very core component of a sniper. So, generally, with every target that you have, you're going to get a couple options of what they have, and this is kind of the human options. But machines have different options, like you'll be hitting the sensor instead of the head. Most of it stays the same. With beasts, you might be clipping a wing or something like that. So, just get a rough idea. So, right here, we're fighting a Thod. Right, and of course, many of you should be familiar with Headshot. Headshot is triple damage and stacks with critical. So, for example, right here, the 1706 would become 5118. Obviously that's an insane amount of damage. And so Headshot is basically going to be your boss killer, but there is a percentage that this is not going to trigger, and we'll go over that later in the mastery board. This one, I don't use this one as much. So this is I want to say, chest shot, right? Where you're targeting kind of like heart arteries or something like that. This is going to give you bonus to crit chance. And I'm going to give you guys the numbers from Perfect Marksmanship, which is the mastery set for precision sniping. So this is going to give you bonus crit 20%, which you can see on this particular one. I've already got 100% on the Thought, so you wouldn't want to use this. This is a body shot, and this is going to increase your hit chance by 20%. And in theory, this is what I should be using because you can see his hit chance is not that good. And believe it or not, that's not on Giselle. That's actually a multitude of things we can go over real quick. And these will be the same defenses that Giselle will be using in the defensive showcase. So it's kind of cool as a segue into there. So Athad is using cover, right, which is giving him 20%. He's using blind spot, which at 10 tiles is 2% per tile, which is another 20%. Athad is using shadow in the dark, which is adding to blind spot another 2%. So that's adding another 20%. So he's already at negative 60% kind of avoidance and dodge reduction. He's going to be using Highland Covering, which is a 10%. He's going to be using High Ground Sniping, which is 2% for every meter. And then, of course, there's also the hit chance penalty for targets over 10 tiles. So you guys could see right here, this is the battle formula, and I highly recommend this for heavy melee users and Giselle. generally on sniper, obviously the name of the game is distance, right? And you are going to be overshooting 10 tiles. The average character has like 12 sight or so. So you are going to be paying that 15% plus distance from target times the negative 2.5%. So all told, a thought is shredding like 100% hit rate, being up here, give or take, minus like 5 or 10 or so. So, that's why you're seeing this 46. And really, this is where you would want to do body shot. Now, when you do body shot, keep in mind, make sure that you can kill in one. So you can see this is only at 1706. This isn't going to kill a thought in one. In this case, what you should do is chain fire, body shot, body shot. Um, and then, so you can also do weapon or destroy weapon, targeting the weapon. And this is actually going to give you some block shred. It's going to give you 10% block shred, which is pretty cool. On the build I'm going to give you guys, you will not need block shred. But this definitely is particularly good on, like, let's say any of the Krons and Destrons. Flame Kron in particular has an incredible ESP ratio that allows him to hit really hard. You could use this on Schwartz Destron to lower his damage. And then, of course, you can go for the leg, and this is also really good. Think like Zhao Zai situation where he's about to get up, but maybe Irene's up like 5 AT after him, and you can't kill him in one, or you don't want to take the chance of using headshot, right? You would basically hit him. This is going to lower his AT or increase his AT, and stick a slowdown debuff. So that would be a perfect situation for that. Okay, and we have the abilities overview. So let's get into Tame Beast just real quick. This is basically how you'll get new pets for taming. This will also give you access to summon Beast once you have the pet. Again, with Sniper, you will have limited access. You won't be able to use some of the more ridiculous legendary pets, but you will be able to, kind of tame Draki eggs and raise them and evolve them. And I highly recommend that because you can set their path, you can set their genetics. You don't have to worry about like kind of, I don't want to say a messed up pet, but traits that you don't particularly want. So Drakis are awesome. In particular, Draki King has a super gravity pulse, which does a massive area grenade type damage, and anything that lives will get pulled into the center, which can activate responsives. Totally crazy ability, but very good to mention. Snipe, so this is going to be your bread and butter, so it's very important to understand this. Attack range 14. Giselle has the highest attack range in the entire game. And you can push this up to 15 again with gun barrel reinforcement, but absolutely nuts range, and it's designed for sniper. Also, very important to note, 100% bonus damage in still stance, and since you're going to be actually sniping now where you have 2 AP a lot, this is very good. This is not as good on single AP because of this, and you'll notice, you'll see this when you guys start playing around with it, that sometimes in single AP she'll fall short, and you'll be like, hey, what the hell happened? Well, it's just that you didn't get the still stance bonus. For general abilities, my recommendation is Decisive Shot, Flare, and Reload. Just really quickly, the traps, if you want to do trapping, just go Hunter. It's that simple. I will make an honorable mention for Ice Trap. This is interesting because when you trigger Ice Trap, it's going to create Ice Mist. Ice Mist counts as smoke screen and is going to reduce the sight of any unit that's standing within it, which means, let's say there's a sniper at 14 sight and he goes into the Ice Mist smoke screen, he's going to have his sight reduced to 12, which is good, but he's also going to be immune to headshot. So take that as you will, but really, if you wanted to do traps, just go Hunter. Confirm target. I'm so upset with this ability. So I thought for the longest time that this was a permanent buff on the enemy in which everyone got this effect. Meaning, if Cyan attacked the target that got confirmed targeted, he would have bonus to hit chance, bonus to crit chance. That's not true. This literally only applies to Giselle and is really not that good. I'm not even going to recommend it unless you have a headshot build, and even then you're going to need to run Seasoned Hunter and change a lot of things to get this to work. But this will give you the highest headshot % chance in the game, which at perfect conditions where it's never like that, you'll have a whopping 80% headshot chance. So it's obviously pretty good. Again, you'll want to run Seasoned Hunter, as that will take off an AP, so you'll be able to cast this on single AP. But we're not going to be taking this, and I'll show you guys why later. Reload, in particular, right, so reload is awesome. It is going to reload your flares, which I'm sure you guys are used to, but more importantly here, it's going to reload your chain fire, and chain fire isn't listed here because it's gained through masteries. Reload works hand in hand with chain fire. Chain fire is her kind of primary ability that you're going to be using all the time, so this is almost mandatory. Flare, just because nobody likes dealing with Darkness Hunter, nobody likes dealing with crabs, really can't go wrong with here. And then Decisive Shot, of course, Decisive Shot is amazing. Most importantly, you'll see there's a damage increase to a target in exposed state. So my recommendation on general gameplay, if you have 2 AP, use Snipe, because you're going to get your Still Stance bonus. But if you have 1 AP, use Decisive Shot. So you're still getting, you know, that increase to damage. And she can have damage issues if you're not using the build that I've kind of set up with. She will activate bleeding with a very low percent chance. Not really interested in that. And then she will increase the target's AT by 20, which is pretty good. You know, this is particularly good on targets that will live through the hit, and you know, just this is such a great ability, and you'll be using this all the time as well. It'll also normally have 30 cast delay. That'll be reduced by reload and rapid fire. And then, of course, for overcharge abilities, so Heart Piercing Shot is going to be your boss killer. This is going to be 200% bonus damage and Still Stance, increase critical damage by 50%, and it's going to have defense unavailable when hit. It's also going to take into account precision sniping, so you can definitely headshot critical with this, and it's just kind of silly damage. This will also do like characters like Zhao Zai with the defense unavailable. It'll take them straight to 0% block no matter what. This is such a nuts ability. It is combining Spirit SP, which obviously is great. Battlefield Splitting Shot. This is going to be kind of your multi-target. This has the highest range in the entire game. With gun barrel reinforcement, you'll be sitting at 16 range. It does do a ton of damage, crit damage. It's just very good, and you notice it won't have the defenses unavailable. So really, your Heart Piercer is going to be boss killer. Battlefield Splitting Shot will be kind of everything else. All right, we have the stats, personal masteries, and equipment. So, of course, let's start with the personal mastery. So, life or death situation. There's actually an incredible build for this, where this is actually pretty good. I didn't think it was so good when I did the hunter video, but there's definitely a build where this can be totally insane. We're just not going to be focusing on that because this is more about offense on sniper. Seasoned Hunter, of course, a close number 2, and in some cases number 1. This is great, obviously, because your flares become 0 AP, your potions become 0 AP. You get 3 flares instead of 1. I will recommend this for 52 Violent, where you have the crabs and you need the flares more than anything else. On top of that, like I showed you guys, the crabs will have 14 sight. So even if you get the gun barrel reinforcement for 15 range, you're still going to be really nickel and diming trying to get sniping out of it, and I just don't recommend it. So in that case, you wouldn't really need the reinforcing scope, right? Because you're just going to be using one shot, one kill. Again, this also is feasible on headshot sniper. This will give you the max possible headshot percent chance at 80%, but it's very specific, and you just want to use it for bosses. But this is a nice number 2, just not what I recommend. Of course, I recommend reinforcing scope. This is obviously designed for sniper, and not for the critical hit chance, believe it or not. The name of the game is See But Don't Be Seen, and this gives an incredible amount of sight. Which leads into what I believe is her primary stat aside from damage and stuff. Sight really is incredible. This is the only class in the game where I'll recommend that you should have increased sight. This is going to give you an idea after you kill somebody and it triggers confusion around that immediate team. They might go out of range, and that's where sight really comes in handy. Just in general, the more you know about Giselle, the better it is. And it actually works out for her to be slightly lower speed than the rest of the party. Um, so my team generally runs an average of 115. So at 99, she is the slowest character, but not by much. We're talking about a difference of action time of like 48 versus 54 or something like that. But you do kind of want to like alter her speed so that as your party moves up, they will give you that vision, which is kind of cool. But make no mistake, sight is so incredibly important for her. So of course, sniping. This is going to give you your hit and crit chance increase for still stance or elevated position. It's also going to give you that incredible recovered AP if you put a target out of action when you're not within their sight. Again, see but don't be seen. This really is the core of sniper, and this is what you really have to understand to get good in the class. Giselle is a spirit user, so you could like kind of tack on like a block shred build, but honestly, Giselle has the highest block shred in the game. It's absolutely insane and enough to where you could actually take off the block shred rifle. Just totally crazy. So for stats, obviously very low health. If you wanted to, you could switch to a Thoughts Bracelet, which is giving you an extra 800 for a little bit more survivability. Vigor, again, she burns through Vigor very, very fast, so you will want to use Overcharge to fire off your chain fires and your decisive shots and all that stuff. Her attack power is pretty darn high. I think her weapon does the most in the entire game. She has the most range in the entire game, right? So, in general, this is a pretty high number even without like gearing and stuff. ESP power does almost nothing for her, so that's really not a big deal. Hit chance, very important. I showed you guys the hit chance kind of penalty and all the amount of numbers that stack into this, and over 10 tiles when you're really paying for it. So she does need a higher hit chance than normal. Let's see, crit chance, I would recommend about 90. I'm running, what is this, 91 right here, which is not bad. You do want to have enough to where the keen sense targets, that aren't going to give you flanking, where you just have a flat 100, that's pretty important. And with my current build, I've had no issues. It's always been 100% crit. And once you hit that kind of 90% crit threshold, of course you'll want to focus everything into critical hit damage. This is just going to be your multiplier to take out bigger targets. So her defensives, obviously her block and dodge are not that good, but that's also because of the gearing that I'm choosing at the moment. You could increase this a little bit. Honestly, she has pretty good resistances as long as you're concealing behind cover. And the conceal is going to give her incredible block, along with high ground sniping and highland covering, all that. It's really pretty darn good. For weapon, obviously the most important thing in the game for her, she has so much block shred. In fact, at least on this build, you could consider the EIBL, which is the 50 weapon from Athod. This will give you a little bit more vigor and a higher base attack power. Worth considering. And of course, you really want to look for a sweeper prefix. That extra critical hit damage is what really sells it towards endgame. And of course, on Beast, you'll want to switch to the Monster Hunter Sniper Rifle. Incredible attack power. Look at that, 1,111, just total insanity. Also good vigor, but yeah, you want to take that for the crabs. For body piece, this is very open. Just do whatever stats you need. I particularly try to focus on speed, vigor, and move on Giselle. If you want to take that as her primary stats. Again, I'm using Flame Ruler's Skull Ring, and actually because of the critical hit damage bonus. So it's at about 30% that it's adding that you won't find on a bracelet. But the bracelet will give you incredible, kind of defensive stats, like right here, where you're seeing a little bit of bonus speed, a little bit of vigor recovery. But I've found the Skull Ring is really not too bad on her. Again, she shouldn't even be getting hit. For shoes, I particularly like Wei's shoes because of the dashing thing, but there's no vigor on these shoes, and you guys might find that you burn through vigor darn fast on her, and so I took Hansen's dress shoes. It also has a critical damage modifier, which is pretty good, but both shoes and chest, I would say, actually all three of these are very much up to the player. Try it around, see what you like. I happen to like Giant Potion. She already kind of has bad dodge, right? If it wasn't for like Highland covering and stuff, she'd have basically no dodge. But this is a 9-turn, 500 attack power increase. And this whole threat increase, you're really not going to see that much because she's going to be so far in the back row. Not only is it like she's just so far back that they shouldn't even be able to reach her. The only time you'd be attacked on her is that she gets ambushed from the side where you weren't expecting or something like that. So this is great because of the attack power. Increases her move distance too, by the way, which is pretty good. And then gearing, White Tiger's Mark is definitely good. Again, similar to Hazing, this massive vigor burn build, you may want to consider the Jackie's Shining skill. That'll take your snipe from 20 vigor to 10 vigor every time you get a critical strike, which you should be getting 100% crit on every unit that you fight with the massive amount of block shred that she has. It's also going to give you a critical hit damage bonus, and of course that's very good. And finally, we have the Mastery board. So this is the Lady Death build. This is based on Ludmila Mikhailovna Pavlichenko, who was a Soviet sniper in the Red Army during World War II. She was credited with a ton of confirmed kills. She is considered the most successful female sniper in recorded history. So pretty crazy, and of course she isn't talked about that much, which is unfortunate because I'm all for female empowerment. She's actually the first Soviet citizen to be received by the U.S. president at the time, Franklin D. Roosevelt, and he welcomed her to the White House, and really cool. Highly recommend you guys kind of just check that out and read up on that. Most of the best snipers in recorded history are Russian, with the top sniper ever being Finnish. So just neat stuff to learn. I don't know if you guys enjoy this kind of stuff, but I love history. So, as always, feel free to pause at any time, take a look, take a gander, see what you keep, see what you throw out. This build is still very open, and I created 3 different main paths, so I'm going to show you guys the other 2 paths very quickly after this. But let's get into this one in specific because this is just very solid. So our core offensive masteries, we're going to be taking Shadow in the Dark, and this is going to be your AP recovery when you activate Shadow Sniping. Right, and so that's going to give you your 2 AP, one from the class mastery and then one from Shadow in the Dark. We're also going to be taking Best Snipe. This is going to be the most heavy-handed block shred in the game. It's the only mastery set that incorporates Breakthrough, which of course many people use. Unfortunately, Breakthrough is post-block shred, so it will take all the numbers after the fact into account, but make no mistake, she has devastating block shred with this. Skilled Snipe, along with Best Snipe, is going to convert any Sniper Mastery to 1% for block and dodge shred. But most importantly, we're going to be using Watch for a Chance, and if you're ever wondering why a Thod does so much damage, it's because of this. If a target's exposed, it just compounds the damage so fast and does insane amounts, and Best Snipe actually complements that even further. So this is where like if you feel like you're missing damage, you'll want to switch to this build. And we're actually going to be, and this is the first time I think I've recommended this, we're going to be taking Judgment. I usually have Judgment on a lot of my builds, but this time I'm recommending it. And here's why. She does and should have one shot, one kill. You're not always going to be able to snipe perfectly, so I do recommend this. She's going to have extreme speed from rapid fire. She will need Roar of Victory to kind of keep her vigor in check. And then Lone Wolf will help that hit chance. That'll kind of deal with her distance penalty that I showed you guys earlier. So Judgment is very good on her in general. You may not activate the the passive when losing health and stuff, but it's really just a solid set for her as a whole. So for core defensive masteries, we're going to be taking high ground sniping for sure, and this is such a nuts ability, especially combined with Shadow in the Dark's blind spot. So like I showed you guys previously on a Thod, you're going to get 2% hit chance reduced for the adversary per tile. Shadow in the Dark is going to give another 2%, so it's going to be 4% per tile. So on average 10 tile distance, the adversary is going to lose an immediate 40% hit chance. That's pretty crazy. But then when you take into high ground sniping, you're going to have Highland covering, which is going to increase any kind of dodge and block from cover even further, on top of a bonus from high ground sniping into Highland covering, again reducing hit chance between you and the attacker. It really is crazy, and the amount of math that goes into it, and it's just kind of silly. Plus, you're also going to be getting base defense. In general, you will want to take cover, unless you know for sure you're going to be going out shadow sniping, getting your AP back. But when you're going to finish your turn, or think you're going to finish your turn, try to conceal, and that's going to give you that 50% block chance there. That's going to make her pretty well blocked. And so. Also, base defense activating it is going to give you a decrease in AT by 10, which is pretty cool. So I have a showcase right here for high ground sniping. And so we're on 50 violent. Boris is over here. He's about to get up, and if you see, he just triggered overcharge. Now, of course, Giselle is behind cover. She's also in elevated position, so she has all of the normal mechanics. Now, Boris is about to launch. You can see his overcharge ring fire off here from his ability. He's about to launch a special that does multiple hits, and let's see what happens. So you can see he even missed a few shots, and Boris is very accurate. He's very kind of a pain to deal with because he has high block and high hit, and he triggers all sorts of status effects like a lot of rangers do. Not one of these was a regular hit. Not one of these was a critical. This can very easily kill a target because he has headshot as well. And you can see just completely negates it. Like this is the kind of stuff that you really want to have. And if you absolutely have to end your turn, always end with conceal. There's a lot going on here in the background, right? But to see something like this, if this were to go off on, let's say, Anne would be dead. Even with Starlight Shield, because it's multi-hit, or whatever it happens to be. So this is really pretty incredible for taking an enemy overcharge. She lost like 500 health or something like that. So definitely highly recommend that. All right, and for core support masteries, we're going to be taking Sniper and Shadow. This is such an interesting ability. So we're going to have Shadow Step, and this is awesome. Again, see but don't be seen. Anytime if the adversary can't detect you, but you can detect them, and this is where that sight vision comes in handy. At the start of your turn, you'll recover vigor. You'll decrease AT if you're ending your turn like that. On top of that, the actual mastery set there, if you fail to put a target out of action if you're not detected, then you'll get a reduced AT from Shadow Step, along with cooldown reduction that I showed you guys earlier on that incinerator drone. So you can do chain fire, back-to-back snipe if you wanted to without increasing your AT by using decisive shot. Incredible ability, wonderful for AT reduction. We're also going to be taking rapid fire, primarily obviously for chain fire, and then the chain fire reduction cooldown, which is just totally awesome. But also because of reload, this is going to give you 25% cast delay reduction along with rapid fire for a total of 50%. And this is going to affect all of your shot abilities, right? So decisive shot's going to go from 30 to 15. Heart piercing is going to go from 60 to 30. Battlefield splitting shot's going to go from 60 to 30. So just totally awesome. And then, so I wanted to quickly show the other two boards before I did the showcase. So this is a headshot board, and I think this is what people would normally think of for sniper. I just find that my first board, you will find it so solid. It's just always going to kill, whereas with sniping and headshot, you're going to have a percentage, and it's a percentage to just totally win, but it's also a percentage to just do nothing. So you will have perfect marksmanship, and you'll be stacking a lot of headshot stuff. So headshot on its own has a 10% chance to activate, which obviously is not that good. Perfect marksmanship is going to have precision sniping, which is going to increase if you go for the headshot by 10%, which is going to put you at 20. Perfect marksmanship is then going to increase that by 100%. So that headshot rate from precision sniping is then going to go to 20%. So that's going to put you at 30%. And you're already dead. This is going to push you up into 45%. Now, you could also add in it was no accident if you wanted to. And this is going to give you a flat 55% with no necessary modifiers, and that's not bad, but 55% is basically 1 and 2 shots basically. And I don't know, for me it's just I want something that's more regular. Now when luck activates, that's going to push you to 65, and then of course, like I mentioned to you guys earlier, if you have 2 AP, technically, with Season Hunter, you could take confirm target down to 1 and push that another 15 to the maximum value of 80%. But that's a very specific combination. Uh, Generally, you're going to have basically a 1 in 2 shot of getting a headshot, and for me, that just wasn't quite good enough. However, this is a very good board. It has very low AT, especially because you're already dead. Anytime you put out a target out of action, you're going to drop 20 AT. So you're going to see her all the time at 36 or lower. Absolutely lovely. And then I think the third and final path for Sniper would be a fire support board. This isn't too much to write home about, other than if you wanted somebody like Hazing's Ranger, where you really love fire support and you want Giselle to be a supporting character, this would be a great board for that. Primarily, you're going to be taking Ruler of the Battlefield, and this is really cool because creating opportunity. So let's say somebody comes up, let's say Wei comes up and attacks Scion, right? If you put him out of action, Scion's going to decrease his AT by where the target you hit by within 3 tiles by 20. So this can take tanks and immediately put them up. Very cool ability. Absolutely love this. And it's going to increase your fire support count. But I do recommend all 3 of these. I think this is kind of the more traditional board, but if you guys really want like a mass chain killer, this is the board that you want to see. And we have the Lady Death showcase. So I had a lot of showcases to choose from on this one. There was one where like she just going around soloing 50 violent, and even taking down crons and stuff on her own. It was really cool, but it's not what is realistically a normal combat fight. So I wanted to use this one, and it's pretty neat. So of course we're on 50 violent. Giselle's moving into position. She is outside the range of this white clown, so she is going to get sniping and all that happens. After killing a white clown, of course, it's going to trigger confusion on this black clown. Black clown's going to go into Scion. Scion's currently my main tank. And so he's got forestallment. He's going to trigger that. So you're going to be able to trigger responsives off of all units that get confused. So, that's going to be really great. The clown lives, though. He's going to take a swing. Here's the thing. Scion is both in bush. He's also a main tank, and he's running Furious Lightning Gale. So he has an incredible amount of dodge rate right now. And, of course, the black clown has no block, no dodge, more or less. And Scion just counterattacks and kills him right off the bat. Nice and easy. So we're going to continue to move up. Thanks to sniping, we got 2 AP instead of 1 AP, right? And we take out this white clown, which pushes him to go fight the gangster up there. And this is where it starts getting interesting. So Giselle is going to enter overcharge. So again, you really want to keep her in overcharge for the vigor consumption. But she now has 2 AP. In theory, this is where you would want to use kind of giant potion, because she's still in range of other targets. So she could have popped a giant potion and then killed him. But I just continued on. I killed both the mask and that black clown there. So on the right side here, there's a cron, and I know I don't want to be like right here, so because I'll end up in vision, that'll take away all of her bonuses, right? And so I want to basically be within, not in their vision and not within the cron's vision. So we're going to do a quick check on this white clown mask, and you can see right there is perfect spot. Both of them have 12 sight. I know this from earlier. And interesting to note here, you always want to go for the light target first. Whatever the soft target is, kill them first. And the reason why is the hard target is going to get confusion, which is going to lower their block and dodge, right? So they're basically going to be kind of puppies at the time. Again, Gangster gets confusion, freaks the hell out, runs over to Scion. Scion, of course, confusion giving negative hit chance penalty. Scion running Furious Lightning Gale, Bush, etc., etc. Scion then counterattacks, kills him instantly with Magic Explosion. And guess what? Giselle's up again. This is all within 1 turn, guys. I'm not really sure what to do here, so I just go over here because there's usually a sniper and some stuff, and I see him over there. But this is generally normal gameplay for Giselle on sniper, and it's really awesome. All right, guys, that wraps up this video. Love Sniper, so fun, so exciting to use, and she's obviously very good chain killer, which is very different than on Hunter, where she's playing more of a supporting role. So, use it however you see fit. I generally tend to lean towards chain killers, but there is a point in a party where if you have too many chain killers, and what the heck are you doing? And like it's it's not balancing the party correctly. So, this is just a neat alternative. And again, if you wanted to play sniper but keep her more support, then use the fire support build. That's really good. If you wanted to do the more traditional sniper just because you think it's cool to do headshots, and it is pretty neat, then do the headshot build that I showed. I love headshot. It's just not consistent. One in every two hits. It's just you don't always want to roll the dice in that, but you can have really extraordinary results with it. Like, let's say there's a Kron that goes into Berserk. She can take out a Kron in one hit with a good headshot. So, there's so many different paths to kind of lead with Sniper, and I have so much fun using it. And hopefully we'll get more gear, more weapons for her in the near future as we go on to Samson and Ben Schneider. I believe Samson's going to drop us a machine pistol or legendary machine pistol finally for Hazing. So that's really exciting, and that's coming up around the corner. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitch and YouTube, and until next time.